Most people over 60 eat breakfast every single morning, and most of them are making the same mistake, not with what they eat, but with how much protein they're getting at that first meal. The result is something called anabolic resistance. And it's one of the main reasons older adults slowly lose muscle mass, even when they feel like they're eating enough. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's happening in your body, how much protein you actually need at breakfast, and the simplest swaps to fix it starting tomorrow morning. Here's what triggered this topic. A subscriber commented on our last video asking why they were losing muscle even though they eat 3 meals a day and feel like they're eating plenty. Sound familiar? The answer almost always comes back to protein timing and protein amount. And breakfast is almost always where the gap is biggest. So today we are going deep on this one specific issue because fixing it is genuinely one of the highest impact changes a person over 60 can make for their health. First, let's understand what's actually happening. From around age 60 onwards, the body starts to lose muscle mass at a rate of roughly 1 to 2% per year if nothing is done about it. This process is called sarcopenia, from the Greek words for flesh and loss. By age 70, many people have lost 15 to 20% of their peak muscle mass. By 80, in some cases, up to 30 to 40%. Why does this matter beyond just looking or feeling weaker? Muscle is metabolically active tissue. It helps regulate blood sugar, supports joint stability, protects bones and falls, and is one of the strongest predictors of longevity in older adults. Research from the Journal of Gerontology has consistently shown that grip strength and muscle mass are among the best predictors of how well someone ages. So, muscle loss is not cosmetic, it is a genuine health risk, and breakfast is where a huge number of people are accidentally making it worse. Here's the core science you need to understand, and I will make it as clear as possible. When you eat protein, your body breaks it down into amino acids and uses them to repair and build muscle tissue. This process is called muscle protein synthesis. In younger adults, even a moderate amount of protein, so say 20 grams, is enough to trigger a solid muscle building response. But in older adults, something changes. The muscle becomes less sensitive to that protein signal. You need more protein to get the same muscle building response. As this reduced sensitivity is called anabolic resistance, and it is well documented in exercise science and nutrition research. A landmark study published in the Journal of Physiology found that older adults needed roughly 40 grams of protein per meal to maximally stimulate muscle protein synthesis, compared to about 20 grams in younger adults. That is double the amount for the same effect. Now, here is the problem: the average senior breakfast, think toast, cereal, a glass of juice, and maybe some fruit, contains somewhere between 5 and 12 grams of protein, not even close to what the research says is needed. That gap, meal after meal, day after day, year after year, quietly erodes muscle mass, even in people who feel like they are eating fine. Let me show you exactly how this plays out in a real breakfast. Here are four of the most common senior breakfasts and their actual protein content. Number one, 2 slices of white toast with butter and a glass of orange juice. Total protein, approximately 6 grams. Number two, a bowl of oatmeal with milk and a banana. Total protein, approximately 8 to 10 grams, depending on milk amount. Number three, a bowl of cornflakes or bran cereal with low fat milk. Total protein, approximately 7 to 9 grams. Number four, 2 slices of whole grain toast with peanut butter and a cup of tea. Total protein, approximately 10 to 12 grams. None of these breakfasts even gets close to the 25 to 40 gram range that research identifies as optimal for muscle protein synthesis in older adults. And Before anyone says it, yeah, no, you cannot just eat all your protein at dinner and make up for it. The research is clear that protein distribution across meals matters. Muscle protein synthesis is a meal by meal process. Let's talk about the overall daily number first, then break it down by meal. The old recommended dietary allowance for protein is zero point 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. This number was set decades ago and was based on the minimum needed to prevent deficiency, not the amount needed for optimal muscle health in aging adults. Current research, including a consensus statement from the PROT-AGE study group, which specifically looked at protein needs in older adults, recommends 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram per day for healthy older adults. For those with illness, injury, or who are very active, the recommendation goes up to 2.0 grams per kilogram. In practical terms, if you weigh 70 kilograms, that is about 154 pounds, you need roughly 84 to 112 grams of protein per day at minimum. If you weigh 80 kilograms, around 176 pounds, you are looking at 96 to 128 grams per day. Divided across 3 meals and a snack, that means each main meal should contain somewhere between 25 and 40 grams of protein, breakfast included, especially breakfast because most people consistently fall shortest there. Now, the practical part, what should you actually eat? Here are the highest protein breakfast options that are also realistic, affordable, and well tolerated by most older adults. Option 1, eggs. 2 whole eggs give you about 12 grams of protein. 3 eggs gets you to 18 grams. Add 2 slices of turkey or chicken breast, and you are at 25 to 28 grams. Eggs are also one of the most complete protein sources available. They contain all 9 essential amino acids, including leucine, which is particularly important for triggering muscle protein synthesis in older adults. Option 2, Greek yogurt. A typical 150-gram serving of plain full fat Greek yogurt contains 15 to 17 grams of protein. Add a handful of nuts and a scoop of hemp seeds, and you are close to 25 grams from one bowl. Option 3, cottage cheese, often overlooked but one of the highest protein breakfast foods available. Half a cup contains around 14 grams of protein. It digests slowly due to its casein protein content, making it particularly good for overnight muscle maintenance. Option 4, a protein enhanced oatmeal bowl. Regular oatmeal on its own is low in protein, but add a scoop of unflavored protein powder, a tablespoon of chia seeds, and a cup of milk, and you can reach 30 grams from what starts as a traditional breakfast. Option 5, smoked salmon with eggs. This combination is particularly powerful. The salmon brings omega-3 fatty acids, which we covered in our last video for joint health, while the eggs bring complete protein. 2 eggs plus 60 grams of smoked salmon gives you approximately 26 grams of protein and a strong anti-inflammatory bonus. Here is something most people do not know even when they are trying to eat more protein. Not all protein sources trigger muscle protein synthesis equally. The key amino acid is leucine. It acts like an on switch for the muscle building pathway in the body. Research shows that you need roughly 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal to maximally activate this pathway in older adults. Animal proteins, eggs, meat, fish, dairy are naturally high in leucine. Plant proteins tend to be lower, which means if you are eating primarily plant based proteins at breakfast, you may need to eat more total protein to get the same leucine activation effect. This does not mean plant proteins are bad. It means if you are relying on plant proteins, you need to be intentional about either eating higher amounts or combining sources that together reach that leucine threshold. Soy protein is the plant protein that comes closest to animal protein and leucine content, which is why edamame and tofu are often highlighted in plant based senior nutrition research. Two more practical points on timing. First, eat breakfast within 1 to 2 hours of waking. Overnight, you have been fasting for 7 to 9 hours. During that fasting period, your body has been drawing on amino acid reserves to maintain basic functions. Getting protein into your system early helps stop that overnight muscle breakdown process and kicks off the day's muscle protein synthesis cycle. Second, if you exercise in the morning, the post exercise window matters enormously. Muscle protein synthesis is elevated after resistance exercise, and having protein available within 30 to 60 minutes of finishing a workout maximizes that response, as this does not need to be a shake. It can simply be your high protein breakfast eaten promptly after exercise. One thing I want to flag: some older adults find appetite is low in the morning. If that is you, do not force a huge meal. Instead, try eating a smaller high protein breakfast and adding a mid morning snack of Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. Spreading the protein across more eating occasions is much better than skipping the morning window entirely. Here's a simple 3 step action plan to take away from this video. Step 1: tomorrow morning, check your breakfast. Whatever you normally eat, look up the protein content and add it up. If you are under 25 grams, that is your starting point. Step 2: add one high protein anchor to your breakfast. You do not have to overhaul everything at once. Add 2 eggs to what you already eat. Swap regular yogurt for Greek yogurt. Add a scoop of protein powder to your oatmeal. One change adds 10 to 15 grams and gets you meaningfully closer. Step 3: if you are not there yet with one change, add a mid morning snack. Half a cup of cottage cheese, a handful of edamame, or a small piece of leftover chicken gets you the rest of the way without overhauling your entire morning routine. Quick reminder: everything in this video is general educational information, not medical or dietary advice specific to you. If you have kidney disease or other conditions that affect protein metabolism, higher protein intakes need to be discussed with your doctor or dietitian before making changes. If this video was useful, the next one covers what your walking speed actually tells doctors about your health after 60 is one of the most surprising and genuinely useful pieces of research I have come across for this channel. Subscribe so you do not miss it, and drop a comment below. I want to know what you currently eat for breakfast. See you in the next one.